You call it you call it attitude. Give me a second. Too damn dusty up in this bitch. All right. That's better. You call it attitude. I call it having a personality. I call it having thoughts, opinions, and not doing a million things that bring you so far away from yourself that you are making everyone else around you and yourself sick because you don't know what you want and can't be who you are and you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. I do not think that you need to be sweet anymore. I don't think you need to hurt people. I also don't think you need to control people. And I don't think that you deserve to be controlled. You don't have to be sweet. You're probably sweet enough just as you are. That might be why you give a fuck at all. But you do not need to be sweet. The dumbest thing that you can do, in my opinion, is try to control another human being and try to control how a large group of people see someone. Now, if you are talking about an experience that you had and your safety and your comfort in yourself does not rely on people agreeing with you or you being super close to people who agree with you, like, you gotta speak your fucking truth. You can't, like, psychoanalyze everything that you do. You have to talk sometimes. And if you need to learn that some of the ways you're talking about things aren't okay, sure, okay. But, like, you can't pretend like what hurts you isn't what hurts you just so everyone else can be happy. And you can't enable that type of behavior by not acknowledging what is happening to you in your immediate like, you can't. You don't deserve to. You don't deserve it. I think that you have been sweet enough. I think that if being a little sour has landed you in a spot where you're alone and you have no friends and all of that, or people are teasing you and shitting on you or whatever, all you can do is remember what you value, what you care about, and see how close you can get to it in this lifetime. Because other than that, who are you living for? And I know that people try to convince you that if you do what makes you happy and do what you care about, you'll have no money and you'll have nobody around you, and you'll either have to, like, go backwards and take back all these people who treat you like shit and you'll never meet anyone better. I know that the world tries to convince you that, but it is not true. And it doesn't have to be true for you, and you have control over what you allow into your life and how shit works for you. Quite frankly, in my opinion, I think that you have control over what works for you, and as long as you do what works for you, it will fall into place. Even if you can't get everything you want, even if you get somewhere late and people don't let you in, and you have to, like, and you do crash out for a minute, but then you're like, you know what, it's okay, whatever. I care about the people around me. I care about myself. I care about what I'm doing, and I care enough to come back and try and see what I can do to get what I need done or whatever. Like, everything doesn't have to be perfect, but and that's really hard to hear. And it's really hard when you've been punished and hurt and hit and beat and yelled at for things that you couldn't even understand, that you felt that you were bending over backwards for. But it is true. Breathe. Ask yourself what is actually happening, and then see how you can respond in a way that makes you happy with yourself. I think I was going to say something else. I don't remember. But things don't have to be perfect. They don't have to go exactly the way that you would have hoped or the easiest way, because that is not your last day on earth. That's not your last chance for anything. And if it is, you redirect. I know a really wonderful person who had to change their career because of one alarm. And, you know, I think she deserves to be happy. You need to remind yourself that you deserve to be happy. So, what are we going to say right now? I deserve to be happy. If you don't say it, I'm going to come over there and move your yap your lips for you. I deserve to be happy. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna remember that we have our whole lives to mold in who we want to be. That our environment does not have to create us. We can cultivate it on our own. Things don't have to be perfect. We can learn, we can grow. We're never stuck. And we don't have to tell people that they need to do something in order for us to be okay. And if they're the type of people who like to deprive or express cruelty or abuse or shame or whatever, let's just hope they heal. Hope they figure it out. Hope they figure it out. I have not always been perfect. I am now. I'm just kidding. Am I? Like, you know what I mean? Can't be. You have to learn. And the world is always changing. And you know what I've noticed? I've parroted shit that I don't even actually care about. And then I'm like, wait, I just said that because that's what everyone's saying right now. That's a sentiment everyone has because everyone has it right now. But the things that actually hold true in my brain and my body are I want to show up, and I have thankfully been able to move through my environment in a way that I look back on what I did today and I'm like, I'm glad I did that the way I did. I'll tell this crazy story to all you people pleasers out there. Today, someone told me to do something. They said, touch my cold hand. And I said, no. And it was in a group. And they said it over and over and over again. And I said, no. And yeah, I did have negative feelings about it. And I did process it the way that I processed it. But what do I know in my heart and my brain and my body? How I feel towards that person, how I feel towards myself. And that being able to just be like, no, and have an attitude or risk having an attitude or something. I don't remember exactly what I was going to say, but I was going to say that it just doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. And I'm glad that, but it doesn't matter whether or not I performed that action. But what matters is how I felt like the person I wanted to be because I said no to something that I didn't want to do. And I want to be someone that says yes to things that I want to do and no to things that I don't want to do. So I can make sure that I do things in my life that I feel good about doing. Um, yeah. I hope everyone has a good night. You're a sweetie pie. You don't have to be a sweetie pie anymore. If you're alone, you won't be forever. And if you are, you're gonna be okay. But that's probably not gonna happen. You're probably gonna figure it out, move through. You're gonna find what makes you happy. You're not gonna feel ashamed of silly things like getting help. You know, so I know I just said goodnight, but someone was talking about their family giving them a hard time for getting help. And I just want to emphasize people can give you a hard time about all sorts of things. It's absurdism, okay? If someone gives you a hard time for saying no, for not wanting to do something, for doing something differently, better find where you can do it where you want to do it, when you want to do it. I swear you can. You deserve to. No one needs to feel out of place. We are on a giant floating puzzle piece. We're on a giant floating puzzle. There is no way. There is absolutely no way, with all the harmony that is in our bodies and in our brains and in our hands and our feet and in the atoms and everything else, that there is not a place for you. Even if the people who tell you, we want you, we love you, are the people you eventually have to leave to find a place that fits you better, that's okay too. We all need to develop a better relationship with, like, just letting the earth turn. Because otherwise, we're going to drive each other crazy, okay? I swear you're not a bad person for telling people no, leaving people behind, taking the time that you need for yourself. Any of that. You're not a bad person, okay? Don't start with me. Good night.